When you need advice, come to Ben and Kelly. It's group therapy on 99.7 DJX.
Sammie's reaching out. Hey, Ben and Kelly, just received a thank you card from a recent wedding, and the thank you message was typed out with a generic, "Thank you for your generosity in coming to our wedding, yada, yada, yada. Love, the newlyweds." Now, this isn't the first thank you card I've received typed out like this, so is this a new normal? Call me traditional, but doesn't it seem impersonal or ungrateful, or is this just what people do now? Love you guys.
So I guess I have a couple questions, and I should have asked Sammie this, but I wonder, is the yada 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 part, is that like actually in the thank you card, or is that just Sammie's interpretation of what was happening?
I'm guessing that's what was typed out.
Okay, and then the newlyweds is actually what was written and not like their names.
It typed out.
Okay.
Everything was typed out. Like nothing looks like it was handwritten. Looks like it was probably generic. Like they could have just bought that just in general, generic thing. That way they don't have to keep track of who got them what.
Hey, at least they got a card.
Oh, sure. Yes.
I mean,
Which they had to take time to
address
it or put the label on it. If you typed all the labels, just slap it on there. I don't know. It's been a while since we did handwritten, thank you notes, and because that's how I was raised.
Do you still do thank you? Do you still do thank you notes for like Christmas and birthday presents?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, we make the kids do that because, we did. It's a common courtesy.
No, I mean, do you do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And my mom and dad still write us thank you notes, thanking us for when they come stay with us.
Well, Kelly, you're just
better.
You're just better people then.
Well, that's just how they were raised. That's how we were raised, and they're continuing that on, which I love.
So, is it impersonal or ungrateful? Do you think that was just a joke that just didn't land, maybe with Sammie?
That was what I was wanting to ask, like if they knew anything about the couple and their personalities, their sense of humor. Does that seem fitting for them? Mm-hmm. Like maybe it was, kind of meant to be a joke because that's the kind of couple they are.
Like, what if they would have put dear and then in parentheses, insert wedding guest here or something like that?
Yes, that would have been funny. Yep, that would have, I think, maybe made it more obvious that it was a joke or
maybe
funny
not.
Take on a thank you note.
Or maybe that would have hit even worse.
Or
like,
extreme
they didn't
laziness.
put my name.
Extreme laziness. Could be that.
Dr. Aaron texted us and said, I spent the plane ride on my honeymoon writing thank yous.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what we did too.
And Jennifer texted in and said, I don't do thank you cards. I just say thank you in person. Shouldn't have to send a card too. All right. So if you say thank you in person, all right.
Well, I think everybody does say thank you in person. It's a really nice. It's a nice follow up. I think it's exceptional manners to.
Well, especially maybe not at a wedding. You may not be able to thank everyone in person. At your own wedding.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. Right. No, I don't think I did either.
Right. No,
Yeah.
You're looking at photos of things that happened and people were there and you're like, oh, okay. All right. That person was there. All right. It looks like, all right. That person was there.
Uh-huh.
All right. So, what's your thought on that? Do you have an opinion or a story about something like that? 502-795-1997 is our number. Farron on Facebook says, look, they probably had a lot of thank you messages typed out. When do you want to type it out? Individual personalized messages to 100 people. This is the standard. Deal with it. All right.
Okay.
502-795-1997 is our number. Got this interesting note from Sammie, who's wondering how impersonal or ungrateful a typewritten generic thank you for your generosity in coming to our wedding that she received from some friends of her was. And if I may be so bold, Kelly, it doesn't look like a whole lot of people are sharing in your opinion.
No, everyone is just like, thank you notes are stupid. Don't do them anymore. No one's got time for that. But I think where maybe this particular one went wrong is the yada, yada, yada part. Maybe if they left that part out, because that's the part that made me feel like maybe they're trying to be funny.
Yeah. It did sound like it was kind of a funny little like, hey, in jest, hey, this is our thank you to you.
Thanks for coming
whatever.
and stuff,
right,
and we love you, and yada, yada, yada. Okay, bye.
Yeah.
That kind of a thing. That was the tone it had, and maybe that was their attempt at humor, and Sammie was just expecting maybe something a little more formal and personal, because maybe that's what she grew up with. And I said that, we grew up as a family that sends out written thank you notes for birthdays, Christmas, stuff like that. And our kids do too, and no one agrees.
Yeah, a lot of
people in text message like Morgan believes that a handwritten thank you note goes a long way. Heather says we are a written thank you note family, but I think we're the only ones.
Yeah, you might be one of the only. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people are like, hey, I give gifts not to expect a thank you note. Yes, of course, we understand that.
Sure.
And then I get a lot of virtual thank yous. Like people will send emails or text messages, and I'll accept a text message as a thank you. Hey, thanks for the gift, as a quick text. And we got a message from a person who is getting married this Saturday, and she says, I don't plan on doing thank you cards. So outdated. No one actually keeps them. So what's the point? And Gia says, hey, I wouldn't even expect one. True friend or family member would hold the wedding card judgment and just be happy to be there on the happiest day of the loved one's life. I want to say it's probably a generational thing.
Could be.
Where your parents, my parents' generation kind of expects thank you cards, and we acquiesce to that. I know that, we'll write thank you cards to my parents, but like maybe our friends a little less, I guess worried about that, because a simple text message is fine.
Yeah, I think that, I agree with that. I don't know if we are sending written thank you notes to all of our friends a lot. Sometimes for bigger things, yes. And for my wedding, I remember my aunt and uncle got us like a KitchenAid mixer. It was like a huge, those things are expensive, KitchenAid mixers. And yeah, I was like, I got to send a really nice, like I wrote more in theirs. Like, thank you for making the effort to travel from Illinois to be here, and for the KitchenAid mixer.
It's a shame it's only been used twice.
We've used it probably a couple times.
It's a shame it's only been used twice. Oh my God.
By my husband, because he's a cook.
I was going to say,
it looks really pretty.
This is going to look great on my calendar. It matches the decor.
It makes me feel like I could use it.
I could use it if I really wanted to. Don't know how to turn it on. I could plug it in, but other than that, it just looks perfect.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I feel like if the gesture's really big, then I, put more effort into the thank you.
Yeah, kind of I think it kind of goes back. Maybe it's a generational thing, and maybe Sammie, I don't know how old Sammie is, but Sammie may be a little bit older, or come from on an older sort of generation, or
Nicole's 35. She agrees.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it all kind of goes back to how you were raised. And like I said, the fact that my parents still in their mid-70s send us a thank you card every single time they come and stay with me. Like, of course you're staying with us, Mom and Dad, but they still thank us for our hospitality, which is really sweet. Well, and I keep every single one of my notes from my parents. All the notes that she sends the kids, she sends them notes all the time, like, congratulations on a great report card, or, we love you.
All right, that's great, Kelly. Everybody on Facebook's like, who cares? All right, fantastic. Hey, thank you, Sammie. I think most everybody's saying get over yourself, and just appreciate the fact. Yeah, appreciate the fact that they actually sent you something. So let's just keep it at that. All right.
Okay, and thank you notes are a dying thing.
Yes.
R.I.P. Thank you notes. R.I.P.
All right, thanks. That's group therapy.